excited. Welcome back to another episode of the Dingbat District Podcast. I've got a very exciting guest on, a guest we've been wanting to get, Blake and I have been talking about for a while. We've got the hilarious Scott Crisp coming on today. Sorry about that.
Thanks, dude.
I saw you were drinking water as soon as I started, so I had to stretch a little bit. But before we start, if you'll go ahead and share your social media so that everyone can find you at home.
Oh, yeah. Okay. On Instagram, I'm at Scott Crisp. That's 3 P's.
Very nice.
I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me double check.
You got to make it different.
I'd feel like a real fool. Yeah, that's Crisp with 3 P's.
Very nice. Okay.
That's on Instagram. And you can also follow the Oddball History podcast on Instagram, my podcast.
That one's very fun. I learned about, I can't remember whose raccoon it was, but I learned about a first lady having a pet raccoon that lived in the trees.
Oh, yeah. Was it Truman's wife?
It was someone that was not it wasn't like Nancy Reagan or something, but yeah, it was like Truman's wife that had
Coolidge's wife.
Yeah.
They sent them a raccoon to eat for Thanksgiving, I believe it was. And then
do you remember who they were?
And it was named Rebecca. It was Rebecca the raccoon.
Rebecca the raccoon, and then they just fell in love with Rebecca the raccoon. Yeah. And didn't they get a second raccoon for Rebecca?
I think they did, yeah. But I don't think they had a good relationship. I think Rebecca was kind of not into it. But she enjoyed splashing around in the White House tub with like a bar of soap. Who doesn't enjoy that?
Yeah, it sounds like a grand old time. What else would you do in the White House?
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've heard from other things, like having a raccoon splash around is probably of the best things that have happened there.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the worst.
They don't got anything fun, you know. I ain't got no big buck hunter machine in there.
Do you think they have secret tunnels, though?
They might.
You're right.
We've
never been to the White House. Donald Trump was there recently. He could have been the type of person to put a big buck hunter.
Absolutely. Yeah. Could see him getting really into big buck hunter.
Directly in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
But just out of wide shot so you can't see it if they ever have to do a public address.
I like that idea. If I was president, I would absolutely have big buck hunter.
Just like the downstairs of hyenas in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it to be not classy, so I'd stick to the classics like Big Buck Hunter and like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam.
That sounds like that's a great lineup.
Nobody could give me any shit over those.
There's no better cabinet than that Rolodex you just pulled out there. Were you an arcade kid?
No, I kind of missed arcades, honestly. Like by the time I was old enough to be like parents drop you off and you hang out somewhere.
Right.
The arcade was, at least the arcades I'm thinking of, like mall arcades. We had like Fun Fest.
Oh, okay. Wait, what was Fun Fest?
It was like a larger scale, it like had bowling and laser tag. It was like a larger scale Chuck E. Cheese for older kids, kind of. They had bowling.
So
and
like a
laser
main
tag.
event type of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And I guess not just for. I mean, adults went there too, but how I knew it first was as the place like.
So
teens went.
Did y'all not have like a going to the mall phase either? Was that right? So y'all just went to main event basically?
We would go hang out at the mall sometimes. We just didn't have an arcade to play.
Was that when the mall was still like what you looked at the mall? Like it used to be this build up picture, and now I go to Grapevine Mills Mall and it is just bones and closed stores.
That's a shame. Grapevine Mills was a fun place to walk around. Get yourself a what do you call it? A pretzel dog?
Oh yeah, Annie's pretzel. Yeah.
Get a pretzel dog. Buy a real samurai sword. They have swords there.
They have the Kill Bill. What's his name? Not Harimoto. Hattori Hanzo sword. They've got a replica of that for $200 at the Asian Living Store, and I go and look at it every time I'm there.
That's awesome.
I go straight to the Spencer's and then straight to the Asian Living Store.
They had that and like sports memorabilia.
Oh yeah, yeah. That sports memorabilia shop has stayed the same owner but changed venue in that mall so many times because I just used to walk in there and then until he would kick me out from touching things.
Hell yeah, I love to touch sports memorabilia.
I was dumbfounded at all the jerseys they had, and they were all signed.
Yeah, you have to touch history when you get a chance.
Yeah, I mean, how else are you going to leave it there?
Why did you do the quotation marks on the sign?
I don't believe that any of those in those types of stores are actually signed by that person. No.
Not even the ones with certificates of authenticity.
If that's in the, well, you can just as easily fake. I make people for my job certificates of authenticity and warranty on Canva. Like it's really easy to make those. So now that I think about it, I think I'm shattering all sports memorabilia for myself.
You know, it's funny. I was such a Pudge Rodriguez fan when I was a kid.
Love Pudge.
I like had this collection of Pudge Rodriguez shit, and I remember I got like a little money for Christmas or something, and I was at the mall, and I was so caught up in my love for Pudge Rodriguez that I bought this framed dollar bill, but with Pudge's picture in place of George Washington's picture. But the plaque said on it, and I didn't take the time to read this, I was too excited about it. The plaque said Yvonne Pugde Rodriguez, Pugde, on the thing. So I was like, this was not a smart person.
How much did you spend on this $1 bill that wasn't legal tender?
Like $15, like $12 to $15.
What an exchange rate!
More than I should have.
Do you still have it?
I gotta imagine when I left. I think I do some. I think I do somewhere.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I gotta imagine when I left, the guy was like, "Holy shit, I can't believe we sold
Johnny,
that
we
thing."
got rid of that." He texted his boss.
It's been here since 1991 when Pudge debuted as a baby of a man.
We never made our first $1, so we put that up.
Exactly. Technically, it wasn't even for sale. That kid just walked in here, swept up in Pudge-a-mania, which I don't regret that. You know, Pudge was the shit. We can
Pudge was the dude. I had it's the only bathing toy I ever had because I still don't fit in bathtubs, but I had a rubber duck with Pudge's face on it. And I still have that thing.
I remember those.
Yeah, that thing. Pudge was because we were talking about you were a catcher too growing up, and you've actually done what more people in baseball tend to do and go play college ball. So you went and played University of Dallas, almost did it again. University
of Dallas, that's right, the Catholic one in Irving with the big tower. That's pretty cool. They ring the bells sometimes.
Like if you hit a home run?
Yeah.
No, I wish.
Oh, that would be nice.
No, they don't care about baseball.
Oh, so it's just
we're
like
very
at the top
like
of
on
every
an
hour.
Island. No, yeah, it's like
on the edge of Dallas. We're in an island.
You know what's funny though? It's like the University of Miami. It's like the University of Miami, but on a way smaller scale. You know how Miami always was a war? They were always like, the faculty hates us, you know, the Miami football program.
Yeah,
this is the exact same as University of Dallas baseball. That's what I'm saying. Just being a UD baseball player is exactly like being part of the U.
Just a lot less money.
Just a lot less money and, general screen time.
I have to admit, there's less money. There's less money, and it's not as cool, One time...
I didn't even get there.
This happened before I joined the team, but the year before I joined our team, they had played an away game at some place where they got there, and there was a coyote in their bullpen. It was like...
What kind of fast times of Ridgemont High playing at? That's crazy.
It was some... I think it was like in Hill Country, in the Hill Country. It was like maybe Shriner. Shriner's in Kerrville. I think it's in Kerrville. It might have been Shriner. It was someplace, but
that's
coyote.
How all of those sentences start. We found a coyote. It was somewhere out in the Hill Country. It was out there. It just becomes a normal thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what they did.
To get rid of the
warmed up someplace else, I guess.
Can we sit with y'all? We'll just come over here and we'll lose. We'll lose rightfully so. I'm not going over there with a hungry coyote sitting in a dugout.
That's a really big competitive advantage if your opponent has a coyote in their bullpen.
In all honesty, home field advantage. You have the coyote advantage. You just get to unleash over there.
Home coyote advantage.
Exactly. It's just been eating shells of sunflower seeds this whole time.
Just getting angrier and angrier, missing the taste of flesh.
Do you think they did it on purpose or it just happened?
I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't think they did it on purpose. I think they walked over there one day and like, that's a coyote in there. And they're like, well,
just not call animal
it's not the
control.
Home dugout, so who gives
Exactly, yeah.
So do you have a story that you can tell from Dallas baseball? Yeah, I always get so jealous of these actually getting to go play college baseball stories.
I have so many stories. And here's the problem with them is like some of them I think are objectively funny, and some of them I think are big time you had to be there kind of things. Like one time,
Who doesn't want to be there though?
One time, our coach, and there was a point in almost every year I played baseball in college where like you're around each other so much. There was a point I think in every season where it seemed like there might like be a mutiny on the team. Like people were so mad at the manager. And so it was one of those times we had like just got back from a road trip and everyone was like furious at the manager for one reason or another. And he was mowing the grass during batting practice. And my friend Clay was was hitting, I remember. And it's you shouldn't mow the outfield grass during open field BP, you know?
That's just
a really bad
when
idea.
everyone hates you. Yeah.
But so he hits a line drive and it takes, it hit him on the fly. It hit him like perfectly, like he's in the riding mower, like just going like this in center field. And I remember I was standing in shallow right field. I had a very good view, and it just smokes him in the chest. And the mower like thrashes to a halt, and you just hear him go. And I'm already like about to die laughing, and you're having to cover it a little because it's the manager, but it's like it's too many people, like too much laughter.
Just ducking away in the outfield.
My buddy Clay, my roommate, he was one of the people that was like the most pissed off at the manager, and I remember he was standing in the cage going like this, just openly like, yeah.
So I never even got lucky enough to make the high school baseball team, but I left on my own terms at this point. I was a fat kid, so I was too slow for their team, and it was also under Josh Carraway, the super stud of all of Byron.
Yeah, you went to like a really big high school, right?
Yeah, I went to Byron Nelson up here, but because we're so big, we were never good. Like, I mean, we went from a 4A to a 6A just with my class.
Oh, wow.
We had that many people come in that we had to jump the whole division.
That's a lot.
So they told me from the beginning, I was going to tryouts, and they said, Paxton, why are you even trying out? You're not going to make the fucking team. And it just shocked me to my core. I was standing there with my friend Brett. I think he knows this, but he's never brought it up to me because he saw me just in a sheer, like almost crying while hitting a tire with a sledgehammer, which was a whole other thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, this was, I needed to take a step back there. This wasn't like angsty dance running while crying or anything. This was our off-season workouts. We had to hit tires with sledgehammers because we were too uninventive to just go to the gym or anything like that. But I'm not going to make the team. I'm trying out. And on the last day, the coach that tells me I'm not going to make it is throwing BP in the batting cage. And he and I don't like each other from football already. We're coming over. I know I'm not going to make the team, and I hit a ball, and it bounced off of one of the poles and went around the L screen and just hit him right in the face. And I just dropped my bat, and I was like, I know I have 3 more pitches, but I'll never top that. I just walked out of the cage, and I got cut from the team.
Yeah, you're like, well, I've just done the best thing I'll do in baseball.
Yeah, there's no moment I can top this.
Yeah.
The next thing, years later, I'll start a comedian softball team and try and top that, and it'll never come back.
Who you got your eye on to smoke in the face?
No.
Probably me.
No, it'll always be Coach Brown. No, Coach Ruschi. Coach Ruschi will always take one to the face for me in my heart.
Yeah.
Did you? So what happened with this manager? Was he just up on the field, or?
No, with this one, it was. Well, I mean, people had like disagreements with him over like baseball stuff. But it wasn't. It was like, yeah, it's like, playing time, general approaches to
so
roster management.
A college manager is like a head coach in baseball.
Yeah.
Like at the lower level. That makes sense.
Yeah. They're, yeah, I don't know.
Our head coach, it didn't even make sense that he was our head baseball coach. He was just, his only qualification for it was he was an ex-Navy SEAL. Didn't ever play baseball. Like, we asked him, like, did you play baseball? He's like, no, I'm just physically fit. And so he got full power to run the baseball team. He would just make us run polls.
That's hilarious.
That was the only. We never won a game. We couldn't hit for shit, or they couldn't hit for shit or anything like that. They were just they had all the stamina in the world.
That guy is a really good interviewer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, how do you parlay that into? I definitely would think you would have had to play or know baseball.
He probably walked in there with the Purple Heart, like, give me the job.
Yeah.
I think he was probably just good friends with our athletic director, in all honesty.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It was the craziest. Like, he would just walk in, and he never gave up on the Marines or anything. He's just
like, hey, you've seen Little Big League, right? I have an opportunity for you if the answer's yes.
He was just trying to be a real serious Major Payne the whole time. Like, he would he would call them maggots. Like, I was like, dude, high school baseball. What are you fucking doing?
Was it Sergeant Slaughter? No,
What was
Sergeant
his name?
Slaughter wasn't.
No, but it was
sure.
Killian. So
Killian.
Yeah, so there's still some sort of aggressive thing in his name.
That is very aggressive.
That's a good name.
That's a great name for a coach. I think he got it off of the name alone. But I was also saying all that and coming from football coaches, like a coach that has come to a comedy show at this point, and I still revere with great respect, told me to reach up into my mangina and grab my balls and yank them out daily. And that was the coach I liked. And I was coming over to this guy. I was like,
I don't think that's how anatomy works.
I don't think so either, but Bauer said it with enough confidence. You're like,
You're like, all right, I better.
Yeah, he would chant
sold you.
Ebola at us, and that would make us play better. I still don't, to this day, understand what Ebola meant because I had a severe concussion. But he would chant it at us, and we would win and score touchdowns. It made zero sense.
It's a great motivator.
Yeah, he was no U Dallas manager. I can say that.
If we had been getting shouted Ebola at us, we would have been way better.
I know, and it was during Ebola. Like, the people in the stands must have, because there's no way he addressed it to anyone what that meant other than the coaching staff and our position group. But he would just yell Ebola. We would score a touchdown. We'd all come back, yell Ebola too. And then the people in the stands like, what the is going on over there? What's that?
You know, that reminds me of I think within my team, the most famous story among us is one that we went on a California road trip and we got kicked out of us by Cal State East Bay. They were really good. They had some kids that were studs, but we got the kicked out of us in the first game. I think we were playing them again the next day. So we went back to the hotel. We're all called to our manager's room so he can, yell at us. And he's giving us this speech. And I remember he goes, when you play like that, you're not only fucking yourselves, you're fucking your teammates. It's like a fucking double-ended dildo. And he did that motion.
I don't think he understands what a double-ended dildo is.
We talked about that later when we left the room. We were all like, message completely lost. Anything that he said to us about playing baseball.
Y'all ready to play tomorrow? Did you see that fucking jerk off?
What was that act out? That was crazy.
What was he doing?
Did you guys have a winning season while you were there?
We did. Yeah, we were. That year we were pretty good, actually. We got in the top 25 and then immediately lost a game that we knew would knock us out of the top 25. But it was cool to be in the top 25 for a week,
Yeah.
I think it was during that. I actually think it was maybe during that road trip that happened, that we made the top 25 and then got knocked out again.
I just like to think that,
before lady baseball.
She's a fickle
She is.
I would just like to imagine before he sent the text for everyone to come to the manager's room, he's acting that speech out and he still does the jerk off motion.
Yeah.
Like, what was he thinking came of that?
He's like, I gotta give this speech with my whole body, not just my.
These boys need my energy.
Mouth, I gotta ramp it up.
Trying to be Pacino on any given Sunday.
He's doing his best lollygaggers from the Bull Durham scene.
I love that. I love Al Pacino. I gotta say, I've been thinking about it a lot because he went on Conan and he has a new book out and things. And he's the best.
Doesn't Pacino also have a brand new kid on the way or something?
Yeah.
That's
he's
my man.
85.
That's my guy.
Can we look that up?
Yeah, 85.
Remember in Glenn Ross when he was like, "F you, Dave."
I gotta say, no, I'm uncultured. I do know that's a Broadway play, but
I only know it because I have not known it for a long time.
Right.
I only watched it pretty recently.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I also just saw that Bill Burr's in the new rendition of Glengarry.
Yes.
So at that point, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Bill Burr's in the new.
Yeah, I think he's
the
like
cast is crazy.
he's like the third main guy or something like that. He's one like in the poster. There's 3 faces they do, and it's someone, and him. He's 84.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
16-month-old.
Damn.
I feel like that's a publicity stunt. There's no way that's like
He
anatomically possible.
He like made her get like a.
Don't say made.
Uh,
I'm kidding. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
He
Jesus
made her
Christ.
do a paternity test too, because he was
Oh.
like, "There's no fucking way. I'm 84."
Okay, so he was coming at it with the right perspective.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking
This
way.
gold digging bitch.
What was that fucking doctor's call like? Can any of you do a Pacino? I can't do his voice for shit. We found out in the last episode I'm really not that good at impressions unless it's Ralph Wiggum. That's about all I got.
No, I can't.
I have to do only specific Pacino, like the "fuck you, Dave" thing, because I don't have it good enough that I can do like sustained Pacino.
I've just got hooah, but that.
I think I can do "Scent of a Woman." Like, I'm in the dark here.
yeah, you can't.
No.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
You're doing great, Blake. I'm sorry.
5 out of 10.
So, have you gone to see this? You sound like you're somewhat of a movie buff. You like to go see.
A little bit. I'm bad at seeing new stuff.
Oh,
but
okay.
I do like watching movies.
Well, then I'll just tell you, guessing you haven't gone to see Megalopolis. Hey, I did it.
Megalopolis.
I haven't been able to say that.
Yeah.
It's Francis Ford Coppola's newest movie,
Oh, nice.
and he made it writing it for himself. And in all honesty, it should probably be a 4-hour movie. If everything were to make sense at the end of the day, it would need to be like a 4-hour movie with all the context he needs to build. But it's very interesting in that it's a fable based on the fall of the Third Roman Empire, quote unquote, and it's based off of like the falling of New York. But what I love is Shia LaBeouf plays a fucking crazy person, and I haven't talked about this nearly enough. Will you look up Shia LaBeouf in Megalopolis? I did it. Wow,
It's also a shitty movie.
Fuck you. It's not a shitty movie. It's a shitty movie. It's a very bad movie. It's gotten the worst scores I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes. But it's also Adam Driver, Aubrey Plaza. You get to see her boobies a little bit in that, so that's always fun. But it's just a whole thing. Oh God, he's got tatted on eyebrows in this, and he's wearing dresses constantly.
What?
Yeah, dude, he's a loon. It's a great movie. He's constantly playing, like, at the very beginning, he's almost got, like, just a New York vibe where he's just, like, kind of a New York scum rat. And then by the end of it,
he says stuff like, "I'm walking here."
Yeah, he's just doing that in a funny hat. And then by the end of it, he's overthrowing a government and dressing like a lady and blackmailing everyone and faking sex tapes dropping on people.
And he's going, "I'm overthrowing a government here."
I'm in the dark here.
Oh, man, what a fall from grace.
Megalopolis, it's called.
Yeah, it's...
I know I've heard the name around, but I didn't have any...
What if you like me and above all else you like an empty movie theater, that one was pretty fun because everyone thinks it's dog shit, but I went to go see it with some friends on a Friday night at 7 p.m. and it was tucked away in the back corner of the movie theater behind all of the Indian movies back there, and then no one was in there except for me, my couple friends, and one other guy who left 15 minutes into the movie. But I know it's a terrible pitch. My elevator picks are not that great.
So if you like jerking off at movies, like that's the one to go to, because nobody's gonna
Hey,
be
you like
All
the
right.
top right corner of the movie theater. No,
yeah,
that's
so
the
I can make
jerk-off
sure
corner.
nobody. Yeah, when you're in the top, like you don't have to worry about somebody being behind you to watch you jerk off.
That's fair enough. So you got to go play in Cali on road ball. Was that the only, like? Were there a lot of road trips that y'all got to take like that?
A fair amount, mostly like bus trips. But
Oh, that's kind of fun.
yeah, it was a good time.
Was it fun, or did it
The
turn out to
bus
be
was
hell?
Fun. A little of both, but mostly fun. Sometimes it sucked because a lot of times we were going places and getting off the bus and like playing.
Oh,
So we
okay.
would,
So
like-
you just going straight from the bus.
Yeah,
to
like
playing.
Atlanta. We drove to
Oh
Atlanta.
my God,
That's a
holy
long ass
shit.
drive.
Yeah, I haven't. The longest I did in a bus was 4 hours to San Angelo, and to go get our ass kicked by one of the best football teams in high school's history.
That's like an
That's
18-hour
rough.
drive, right, to Atlanta?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh my
It
God.
was, I think we drove to Chicago. Atlanta's farther than Chicago though.
Yeah.
But also pretty far. But yeah, you're like sleeping under like the table in the back on the floor, you know, and then you have to get up and try to play. That sucks.
Did you ever? Like, how do y'all win these games? I don't understand.
Through grit and determination.
Did y'all win these games?
Nah, some like no, we were pretty good. Like we were like I would say we were pretty good. We would always at least be around 500, but I think we were solid when I was there.
I know I'm talking shit, but I never played more than really just rec all-stars. We would just always come in, and just me and a couple friends would just bully all of the rec bad teams that are just wanting to play for fun. And then we'd go play that, and that was our summers.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, man, childhood baseball was kind of the shit.
It was. It was a good time.
Do you miss being able to play now, or because you got to go play in college, like you had like a closure moment with it?
Yeah, I don't think I miss it that much now. But sometimes I sometimes want to just play catch. I sometimes get the itch to just throw a ball around, you know.
Well, have you been seeing anyone recently?
Throw the old apple around the yard.
If you pull a Pacino, you can still go play catch with a son.
Yeah, that's true.
Teach him your wisdoms, just like that old Bill Burr bit. Like, nah, son, I'm not going to fucking church.
Like like Dennis Leary in The Sandlot. You remember that? When
Vaguely.
He is playing catch with Scott Smalls for the first time. First throw he throws to him, it hits him right in the eye, and Scott Smalls is like, "Oh my god!" And Dennis Leary goes, "Yeah, you gotta watch the curve." You broke off a curveball that was completely intentional.
Yeah, from a 9-year-old.
I did that to someone to be mean once. You know, like cross them up on purpose. That's very mean to do to your new stepson. And that's like the basis for, like, I'm glad he stole your Babe Ruth ball after that.
Honestly.
He deserved it.
I had one of those. There was a little bit of time where I didn't know the pitchers I was catching for when they were doing like the high school team would have before you came in for freshman year, you would do a fall team kind of through the high school. And when I would get new pitchers, I had this one dude that would shake off everything I threw. And then by like halfway through the season of this little bullshit league, he would just like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it and you're just going to catch it. And I was like, that's not how any of this fucking works. Like, we went to just being the worst team in the league. It was like, every ball is a pass ball because I have no idea what he's throwing. Yeah. And he was not accurate either. He would throw a curveball that would hit the umpire in the face. He's like, dude, you got to catch it. I was like, I have no idea.
I don't know any of what you're doing.
Yeah. It's probably what stunted my baseball career in high school, maybe a little bit.
Oh, that's horrible. That sounds like traumatizing.
Yeah.
To have to catch without knowing what was coming. Did you see the Maddox documentary?
No.
About how he would call pitches, like by how he caught the ball. Like, so he made it so because he would call his own pitches, but then he would let Eddie Perez know what he was going to call by like, he would like catch it like out here for like change up. If he caught it like here, it was one thing. Jesus. Like if he caught it like this, it wasn't.
And I'm assuming they changed that every day or every game.
I don't know. I don't even know. Actually, I think it might have stayed the same. The way they were talking about it in the documentary, like Eddie Perez was saying like what the different ones meant. Like, and it seemed like it was just like this very simple hiding in plain sight system. Because who would think about that? Like, who would think that how he's catching it is calling the next? It's insane.
That's crazy. Because I always did get fascinated in me and my dad. My dad was my coach for a long time in my rec career. And we'd always come up with the stealing signs. And that was our big thing. And I always trying to figure out the other team's stealing sign. So I would know ours. I would tell my dad when to tell people to steal because he wouldn't tell people to go as much. And I'd figure out the other team while I was sitting there calling the pitches and stuff while I was catching. But I always wanted to be like, there was no Jonah Hill from Moneyball just trying to figure out the other team's stuff. And now people are banging on trash cans.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is I have no idea what that all was still.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was just a, I mean, that was like the extent. It was like they had a video room, which everyone does, but they were watching they were basically like going in there when they shouldn't and watching, using it in ways that they shouldn't have, like shouldn't
Okay.
have been, and then taking that and then communicating it with the trash cans.
Oh, so they were like sneaking into another team's box and watching.
No,
like
it was like their own stuff. But it was like they're using like cameras that.
Okay.
It was only happening in Houston. They weren't able to do it anywhere else.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Houston fans are all like, I think, was it the Yankees got caught with something?
Dude,
There's always been something. Just don't get caught.
Stealing
got something,
signs.
too.
Yeah.
Well, it was when Tom Brady
Maybe.
moved to the Buccaneers. He was, they were doing plays out at their stadium, and their stadium had like a huge open window, and he was just holding their playbook out there, and Tom came on the field just a little bit later. He's like, "You got to fucking put that away." He's like, "What? Do you think people have drones that are looking into the stadium? What's going on?" Tom, he's like, "Yes, people have drones that are looking into this. I worked for Robert Kraft for a long time. People have things."
That makes me feel good about football.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe in the script necessarily,
I love that
but
level of obsessiveness.
I kind of dig it. If I would love to be hired by like the Dallas Cowboys just to be the dirt finder. If I could be the private detective of football teams, go find dirt for other teams. Just like, well, Green Bay 3rd and down, they have a sign where someone touches his nose and then they tush push or something.
Well, that's what Lenny Dystra did. He hired a private investigator to get dirt on the umpires, and that he would blackmail the umpires. That's
No
why
shit.
his on-base percentage shot up like his 3rd season with the Mets.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
He was just
That is
pulling
funny.
gambles and just finding umpires with dirt.
Yeah, if he was on Artie Lang's podcast before Artie Lang went off the map, but
Was he ever on the map?
He was a little bit.
Was this before or after the stabbing of the stomach?
This was a couple years ago. He was sober, but he had Lenny on and he was talking about the whole thing. It was interesting.
Dykstra once, I read in The Bad Guys Won, the Jeff Pearlman book about the 86 Mets. He spent all night playing poker, this illegal poker game, and then left hammered in his Porsche and then crashed his Porsche, like wrecked it all up, got out, called a cab, and took a cab to the stadium because they had a day game and played in the game.
Dude, that was
Dykstra apparently just pulled off a Jordan Belfort into a Wade Boggs drinking story. That's what that was, and just went and played a game.
dude, that was a crazy team.
It was crazy as hell. That book's amazing for that reason. Like after the Houston series, they just destroyed a plane. Like apparently, like the inside of that plane was just completely demolished and covered in cake. The wives had got them cakes to celebrate, and they just threw it all over the place.
Yeah, it just did
smearing
blow
it into the carpet.
Yeah, apparently, they were doing blow in the in the bathroom, but like with the door open.
Yeah,
Like, it was just very.
You didn't have to go to. If you're just gonna have the door open, we see it.
Yeah, I watched the ESPN documentary on it. They did like a 4-part series on the 86 Mets.
I watched that too.
It was great.
Really good.
Well, I don't know why this made me think of it, but you were talking about smearing the cake into the carpet of these private planes. There's apparently a story about Garth Brooks, who's now apparently I'm not even going to say the word, so you don't have to bleep it out. But he, at one point, had such a case of diarrhea on a private plane that he had destroyed a bathroom to the extent where he had to open the door for ventilation for himself, and it got outside of the bathroom, that he was just smearing shit all over this bathroom and outside of the plane. And the people were like, afterwards they got here like, "Yo, Garth Brooks, what was this?" He's like, "Never call me again." And he just hung up and blocked him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so fucking Garth Brooks, right before he became a fucking pedo, I guess. No, he's not a pedo.
I think they've been saying he's a serial killer or some shit.
Well, that has been talked about for. Do you ever
Oh
watch
yeah, that was
Your Mom's House?
Yeah, Your Mom's House. I remember, like, I haven't listened to it in a long time, but that's from like, they were
Way back
doing
in the
that
day.
like, back when I was listening.
Yeah, I remember I listened to Two Bears live, and they were talking about it on one of their episodes, how they found it out, and I went and watched that episode. And the fucking see if you can pull this up. What was it? Was it the Ukrainian Relief Fund video? Did you ever see this?
No, I don't think so.
This was like the proof in the poison of him being a serial killer. Was no, not Two Bears. I'm sorry. Look up. Oh shit. Ukrainian Relief Fund, Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. They do like a message asking that the celebrities do every once in a while, like you should donate all of your money to give to these people, even though we're billionaires and we're not giving a penny. So pray and give your money for this. And there was at one point where Garth Brooks just goes, and especially the refugees. you gotta help save the refugees.
Whoa.
He's like, yeah. I mean, like that was kind of the whole point of the video. You didn't have to laugh into, and especially the refugees. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
I'm excited to see.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
All right.
And we're proud to say we stand with Ukraine, especially the refugees.
There's a global initiative, and of course, supplies and aid is already spread thin. And this is where you come in. We need your help. We need you to donate.
Yeah, I mean, we always ask for love and prayers. Please keep doing that. But we're also going to ask you, dig in your pockets. Be part of the greatest global relief plan mankind has ever seen.
Everybody deserves dignity. Everybody deserves a roof over their head to feel safe. You can be a part of that.
Yeah, amen. So join us, won't you? Stand up for love.
Stand up for mankind.
Stand up for Ukraine.
That's what
Stand up for Ukraine. And he doesn't blink throughout the whole
And it
thing.
was weird that he went, especially the refugees.
Yeah. He was not blinking the whole time, but his eyes opened up for that line.
That didn't even look like Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
You're right. Maybe him and Trisha Yearwood had made a body double. That's,
Like, if you showed me a picture of that guy,
go back and just find a still of it.
yeah, that doesn't look like Garth Brooks.
It looks like there's a Walker Texas Ranger where he goes undercover in Mexico and he just dyes his beard black and he goes, "My name is Gomez." It looks like Garth Brooks is doing the same bit.
He just looks like so many people I know too. Like he doesn't look like the critically acclaimed Garth Brooks, the country singer. He just looks like so many baseball dads I've had to yell at while umpiring games.
He does look like a baseball dad, for sure. I mean, he probably he loves baseball.
He might be a baseball dad. That might
play
just
with the Padres.
what?
Remember that? Back in the day, they let him go to spring training with the Padres. I'm pretty sure.
Is that
You
like
can
that?
find footage of it. He took at bats and shit.
Is that
Was-
like that Will
was he
Ferrell
good?
shit?
Kind of, except it wasn't a bit. Like it was just him like having
He just
fun.
did it?
Kind of. Yeah.
When you have that much money, you can kind of just do whatever you want. Was he
Yeah,
like
it was kind of that deal.
so 1999? So he's probably what 30?
Everybody was worried about Y2K. We were just trying anything. Like Garth Brooks playing baseball, sure. We're all gonna die because of the computers.
Why not?
And Tony Gwynn was probably like, "What the fuck?
Who is this?
Who's this honky?"
Tony Gwynn's like, this really shitty guy is famous for something, you tell me?
I could have just sang a song. Is that him at
Man,
third?
Tony Gwynn was so awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he got the hit. Okay, I thought they put him at third base for a second.
It's a shitty swing.
I almost got a dinger. It is the shallowest.
Wait, did he say I almost got a
Literally-
dinger?
I think he said. I think he did. I think he was saying that he got under it, and that, but he was right on it.
He had 3 outs. You know what? I kind of take all the shit talk I ever had for him back. This
How
is
much?
exactly what I want to get to.
How much shame would you feel if you were a pitcher and you gave up a base knock to Garth Brooks?
Guys, what are we doing? It's fucking Garth Brooks. He sings The Thunder Rolls.
I'd pull out the samurai sword I bought from Grapevine Mills and fucking disembowel myself on the mound in shame.
Just a quick little seppuku. Honor. You must bring
exactly.
honor around family.
I used to live in San Diego, so I went to that park quite a bit. It's a nice park there. Like,
Is
they
that
got-
still the same park?
Petco?
Yeah, Petco. Yeah, they got a
Yeah,
badass Tony Gwynn statue.
It looks awesome. I just was researching a little San Diego history. The story of Ken Allen. You know Ken Allen?
No.
He was a orangutan, and in the San Diego Zoo, but he escaped 9 times in the 80s, and he would just get out of his pen and go walking around the zoo. So he became like a cult legend in San Diego. People fucking loved Ken Allen. He was part of an episode we just did.
Let's see if you can look this up. I want to figure this out. That's so hilarious.
Yeah, he was
Kent?
Ken. Ken Allen.
There it is. Ken Allen the
Is
orangutan.
this how you get bits for Oddball History? Just researching random shit like this?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Wikipedia, rabbit holes, and the like.
I've been learning so much. Have you seen Moo Dang and Pesto? This big ass fucking penguin.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I know the penguin. I know the hippo.
The hippo's
Dang.
pretty cool, but the penguin is the biggest baby penguin they've seen in like history. And
Hilarious.
it's pushing down adults, just like getting at in the enclosure in the zoo it's at. Oh my god, this thing is breaking out.
Yep.
I don't know why.
He was
You said
damn
orangutan, and I know what an orangutan is, but I was definitely thinking a much smaller monkey.
A Bornean. That's what. Yeah. There's Bornean and Sumatran and maybe something else.
Oh, he got prostate cancer.
He did live to 29 though.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
He was a legend, and he would flip off little kids. And
Hell yeah, dude. Blake, scroll down and keep going into the escapes. In 1985, during his escape on June 13th, July 29th, and August 13th, Ken Allen peacefully strolled along the zoo looking at other animals. Ken never acted violently or aggressively towards zoo patrons or animals except for other orangutans called Otis, whom he despised. So there's already a general bond with Ken. He's just looking at... He just becomes,
doesn't like Otis.
Yeah, I mean, just fuck Otis. But he's just walking around like he's one of us. Wait, go back up just a little bit, Blake. During his second escape, he was caught stoning Otis, and he had to be led back to his enclosure. The hatred is what led him to be put in solitary confinement.
That's right. And then eventually, they thought that Otis might be, Ken Allen might be jealous of Otis because he was in solitary, and Otis had like 3 females in his pen. So they put 4 females in Ken Allen's pen. And then 2 of those females, like really soon after that, escaped their enclosure. Like he was teaching them his ways.
You just gotta you gotta pick the lock. You got opposable thumbs. Use them.
Yeah.
You just knock that lock off.
Yeah, one of his escapes actually, he threw a crowbar to there was a maintenance guy left a crowbar in his pen. Crazy, I know. And then Ken Allen is like, oh, I don't know nothing about this, and threw it to the side. And then a female orangutan used that to like pry open a window, and then Ken Allen escaped through the window.
He's got accomplices. I think this maintenance dude is part of it.
Yeah,
he's a part of the Ken Allen cult.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. The maintenance guy is definitely in cahoots.
You said this was one of the later escapes too, right?
I think so, yeah.
They made it harder for him to escape, so he had to get new avenues to explore.
They did, yeah.
He watched Oceans once. He figured it out.
His last escape was just there was a malfunction. There was a moat around his enclosure that would keep him in place, and there was a malfunction, so the water shut off, and he just walked across the dry moat. I was like, all right.
This dude is So there's a constant theme where we keep looking up videos of monkeys looking at magic. This is a monkey magician.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Actually, his nickname was Harry Houdini, the Harry Houdini.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Blake, keep going. I want to see what else he did. In 1987, zoo officials hired experienced rock climbers to find every finger-toe foothole within the enclosure, spending $40,000 to eliminate identified holds. They put $40,000 into this guy stopping escaping, and they couldn't stop him.
Dude, that's a big ass zoo there.
Yeah.
Like I went there a couple times.
Isn't it? It's supposed to be like one of the best ones, I think.
Yeah,
right?
we used to get them for free in the military, so we
that's
just go
awesome.
make a weekend out of it.
I love the zoo. I went to the zoo for the first time in a really long time a little while ago, like last like February.
You know,
it was a good ass time.
Exactly. Yeah. There are a lot of people that hate zoos, and I completely understand and respect their view on that part. But otherwise, I'd never get to go see an orangutan.
Yeah, I love looking at the animal. Even though the gorillas, I heard one of the gorillas had recently died, and all the other gorillas. At first, I was like, man, the gorillas are so chill. And then I heard that one of the gorillas had recently died, and they were like sitting. grieving.
Yeah, they were just super depressed.
It wasn't chillness; it was grief. I was like, "Oh, that's worse.
That's so sad.
That makes it worse." But they were still cool.
Yeah,
they
that
were.
is
One
pretty
of them
cool.
was sitting on the top of a hill, and knowing what I knew, it took on a different complexion, kind of. This gorilla
He
sitting
became a
on the
painting?
looking out at the distance.
He was like Spicoli in fucking Fast Times.
Yeah, he was like, but it was pretty. It was still pretty cool. Like even though it was sad, it was like, man, gorillas are cool though.
That's cool in and of itself. I didn't even think that gorillas would be able to grieve. They're not would be able to, but like I guess they had the wherewithal enough to grieve about a fallen gorilla. That's sick. I didn't know they were like us that
Pretty
much.
cool.
I thought they evolved a little farther down the line than us.
I mean, are zoos really
They
that
get
bad?
depressed too. It's wonderful
They're like
learning
us.
about animals. It's true.
You really did just take my point. I was like, I'm not alone. I'm like the monkeys.
No, there's so many. There's so many facts like that. Like how elephants can die of grief. Like they won't. It's not technically grief, but they stop eating. And
I think there's been cases of horses doing that too.
Oh man.
Like it's not even direct. Like horses will end up overeating themselves into death after like their buddy horse has passed away.
Oh man.
So, yeah,
That's
like,
fucking sad.
This conversation has taken on a really sad,
real dark turn. But I will say, I have a bright zoo story. Me and some friends in college, as soon as I turned 21, we just went to Denver to have the experience of having legal weed.
Legal weed.
And
yeah.
we
Hell
picked
yeah.
Denver, already booked the Airbnb, and as we were getting there, picked what we were doing. First thing we did was stop at a dispensary, of course. You wait
Yeah.
outside in their parking lot until 11 a.m. when they normally open. We
Yeah.
just got there early. And then we took a nap in a movie theater. That was the most stoner start to a Denver vacation, is we went to a dispensary and took a nap in a movie theater.
What was the movie Megalopolis?
No, I would have stayed
would've-
awake. I would have been trying to figure it out again. I want to go see it again so I can figure it out. I know I missed so many things. But no, it was Suicide Squad, the second one, the good one.
Okay.
Oh, I love Suicide Squad. I
The
was
second
just
one was
watching
good.
that.
It's a great fucking movie.
The one with like the false beginning and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jake-
Pete Davidson dies immediately.
He gets his fucking face shot off. Like,
They
oh
kill
my
s-
god,
yeah,
it
like,
is a violent.
Oh, what was fucking the dude that played Castle was the TDK. He just they got a bunch of nameless, faceless character, like the Weasel. The
Oh
fucking,
yeah.
Yeah, it was his brother, James Gunn. James Gunn's brother.
Oh,
The guy
really?
that directed it. Yeah, that was his brother.
So funny.
I
That
like
movie
when
was funny.
Pete Davidson thinks he's a dog. He's like, "What kind of dog is this?" You're like, "That's not a dog," and he's like, "Well,
You
I don't
think
know
that's a
all
dog?
the breeds."
The weasel has killed 20 people.
Oh my god.
That's
Mostly small
also
children.
a really darkly funny moment when they cut to the weasel being dead in the surf. It's so
no one
funny.
checked to see if Weasel could swim. No.
Yes. He's just washed up.
That was one of those movies that came out like peak pandemic, so just did really shitty at the box office. But like if it came out right now, I think it would make like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
And it was in a weird position with the first one coming
Yeah.
in. Like, I think
Yeah.
a lot of people were confused, like, didn't really.
Yeah, they didn't explain a whole lot. They're like, yeah, the Suicide Squad is a thing that could just happen over and over again.
Well,
But
he started killing off the characters from the first one.
just so immediately. Savant. I thought that was pretty sick. That wasn't Mickey Rourke, was it?
Yeah. No, Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. I always mix them up. Michael Rooker was the savant. He just tried to back out and his head got blown off. But I will say I did not want to like John Cena as an actor, but that movie did make me like him. He's actually talented
he's
at
great.
it.
He's
I thought it
really
was just going to be another wrestler in a movie thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only other person was Andre the Giant and Princess Bride, but even at that point, he was just playing a big scary guy.
Yeah.
The Rock.
And he was amazing.
But I hate The Rock.
You hate The Rock?
Yeah, because everyone just writes The Rock into their movies. It's just like The Rock named something else, but he's The Rock.
Yeah.
I liked when The Rock was like, you know, when he first became a bad guy. And
Oh,
he was
yeah.
like
His first
cutting
heel.
promos on like he was like he would like shit on homeless people for no reason. He was a really good bad guy.
Yeah.
It just sounds like an open micer just trying to say
Talking
anything
about-
shock and awe.
Armani shirts and shit. I remember he cut a promo once where he said that he didn't care whether the homeless guy lived in a Kenmore box or a Frigidaire box as long as he kept it off of the Rock's palatial lawn.
Jesus Christ.
Looking back, it's like, who was that for?
Yeah.
Just the small group of people. Well, no, it's not small, but the group of people that hate homeless people.
Yeah.
But even at that point.
Rock. Oh, Rock. That is.
And now he's the final boss.
Aggressive view. Yeah.
Me and my buddy Kane were talking about for Halloween, we're going as the Dudley Brothers. I just want to do that. And just, if we can somehow work a 3D into just the night. I just want to 3D someone. So, Blake, do you know who we're talking about?
No, I don't.
Look up a picture of the Dudley Brothers. Kane is obviously the black guy, as he is a Mexican man, but.
Of wrestling brothers, R.I.P. Butch from the Bushwhackers.
Oh, really?
Bushwhacker Butch, yeah, he just died.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
Yeah.
Just old age of being a wrestler?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even like look into it. I was like, well,
It makes sense.
Any wrestler from my childhood who passes away at this point, I'm like,
have you met this sounds sad, but have you met Chris Germany?
oh yeah, I love Chris.
Blake, you don't know, he's a comic now, but he was like a professional wrestler for like 20 years.
Yeah,
and now he just does comedy.
Oh, he has great stories too.
I'm sure.
I love talking to him.
I'm sure.
But one of these days, I'm just worried about his knees. When he's standing up to go do his set at an open mic or something, I'm just like, oh, fuck, I hope those knees don't give out.
Dude, I couldn't imagine being a pro wrestler. Like that, the amount of, it's insane. You're
Constantly just taking
You're just slamming
shots.
your body onto wood over and over like 300 days. Like it's it's really crazy.
That was
like,
the one thing I never put
toll.
together as a kid was just like the fact that it's a road show. Like at the end of the day, the wrestling is a road show, and they do that tomorrow.
Well, going back to Mickey Rourke, you ever seen the movie The Wrestler?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I love
that
The Wrestler.
and that
I don't know
gets
if I
into
have.
it. Yeah, that gets into it of like the wear and tear like you get on your body of doing that shit.
God.
Yeah, great fucking movie. You need to
Yeah,
watch
it's
that.
so good. Also really sad.
Yeah.
Oh man, why do they keep doing that? I wanted to watch Iron Claw, and then everyone's
Sort of.
the most manly dude I know told me he cried at the Von Erich brothers. I was like, I can't go see this movie.
Dude,
That
was
Yeah.
very good. But also, I will say, if you know their story and if you've like watched documentaries with them and stuff, it won't be like, I don't know. It was really sad. But
didn't they kind of not
I
address
know
like
the
a third
story.
brother?
No, I think they had them all. I think
Okay.
they were.
No, I think there was one brother. He wasn't as big as the other ones, and he also killed himself. And they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna kind of cut this one out."
One's enough.
Oh, they kind of like, they
Yeah.
kind of like hinted at it,
Yeah.
but didn't really. It wasn't
Yeah.
part of the story, really.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I liked the movie though. It was solid.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but speaking of hinting at it, did you watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary that came out on Netflix or docu-series?
No.
I have not.
I only watched the first episode because that's really all you need to watch, because then it's just about some dude lifting weights and it just becomes lame. But in the very beginning, they're going over like Arnold's childhood, and they're talking about at one point his dad coming home from losing the war and being depressed, and you realize they're in Austria, so they lost the World War, and his dad was like, oh man.
Oh,
Like in the docuseries, they probably spent 3 minutes on his dad
This
and then
sucks.
5 minutes on how his mom folded the laundry at home. Just because they were just really kicking the dirt over that.
was
Like,
it a really cool way of folding laundry though?
And I think she nailed fitted sheets early on, and she was just the only one that figured it out.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That explains it. That explains it. She solved that
Right.
unsolvable mess.
I just, because Arnold's had to have something to do with this documentary. He's like, can you not talk about my dad? Like, I know that's the thing, but it's like everyone just wants to know about his dad.
Yeah. He's like, what? What were you talking about? My mom? She folded the sheets this way. And they're like, no, you talked about that already.
I want to know about the Nazi.
She wasn't Nazi about her sheets, man. She was anal retentive about how she folded those sheets.
You would not see a crease in those sheets. She was a very talented woman.
It's a good
I'm
one.
glad we're
That's a very
talking
good
about
one.
her and only her of my parents.
Yeah, and then 20 years later, I'll be in a film where I'm a twin brother with a fucking 5-foot flat man who's
Oh,
bald.
man. Yeah.
Old Danny DeVito.
Oh, yeah.
What, was that
Have you
called
seen
Twins or Brother?
Twins?
Yeah, I need to watch that one again.
Have you seen Pumping Iron?
I've seen
No.
bits and pieces of it.
You have to watch it. It's
Is it-
amazing.
is it
it's
just
so
crazy?
funny. It's crazy. It's like Arnold when he was a He was like the Kobe of bodybuilders. Like you're watching him like try to psych out the other bodybuilders. Like he comes over to him and he's like he does little games. It's a little reminiscent of like Mean Girls and pageants.
I was gonna say I do remember seeing a clip about he was going up against his friend. I can't remember who it was.
Lou Ferrigno, maybe. There's a famous Lou Ferrigno scene, the Hulk.
I don't know if it was from Pumping Iron, but I don't think it was Lou because this guy was a black man. But they had been friends for a while.
Probably not Lou.
So probably not Lou Ferrigno. But things have happened before. Yeah. But he was like psyching out his teammate, and he was talking about in the documentary. He was like, "Yes, he was my friend, and he lost because of what I said and did. But it's all part of the game." He's like, "No, man, like it's you versus him and Mr. Olympia, and you like said something to make him not do the right thing, and he lost all of that. It's like." It was something even back then, like $150,000 purse if you won the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
And then you got whatever that brought you in sponsorships. He's like, no, he's just gentle ribbing with a friend, know.
He took that money and came to America, and he bought a apartment building and just rented.
Oh, that's how he like stayed over here. He was a landlord.
Yeah, that's how he made his first $1 million, and then he became
what a fucking genius.
Yeah, an actor,
and then a governor.
Yeah,
we elected him.
Do you remember the scene? No, well, it was in Pumping Iron. There's a scene in Pumping Iron where he's eating steaks, like multiple steaks, like in a pile on a plate, and he's eating these steaks, and they're smoking a joint. I think they're at the gym still, or maybe they're at his apartment. I don't know, but there's like a bunch of women around, and then all these bodybuilders, and he's eating this steak, and then I think it's that moment. I might be combining two moments here, but I think it's that moment, and he starts talking about how the pump feels like coming to him, and he's like so I'm just, every time I pump it's like I come, and so I'm just coming all the time. I'm just coming all the time through the day. That's like a short he talks about this
he goes on for a while,
like 2 minutes about how
for a whole segment of his mom folding clothes and laundry.
A whole
mom folding.
Yeah, she did the whole house's laundry in the time.
I like to go work on my biceps, and when I bicep, I come. It feels great. You should come to the gym with me. I'm like, no, I don't want to go.
Yeah, I gotta say you do not sound like someone I want as a workout partner.
I think I'm just gonna get fat, man. I think I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know emotionally how often I can watch you come from like 3 feet away, which I would be as your spotter. Yeah, we can't get around that.
As his spotter, who's probably sitting right next to him, what is he thinking? Yeah. Like, this is the dude that I work out with daily, and he's telling me that while I'm standing right next to him, he's frequently coming.
Yeah, it would have been funny if they cut to his spotter when he was saying like, "I'm coming all the time," and the spotter's like, "Yeah."
I keep telling him to stop saying that, but
no, he does.
He does.
It's not like no, he physically come. No, it very much is literally.
He's just using some fluff words.
Yeah, he's just softening it a little. It's not a metaphor. This guy's really busting all around the gym.
There you go.
It's a
on
simile.
both sides of the barrel.
And I'm not allowed to say anything because it's Planet Fitness, a judgment-free zone.
I always love that. It's a judgment-free zone, so come eat a whole fucking piece of pizza and try and work out.
They do have pizza there?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
It's something like Tuesday nights, like the first Tuesday night and the last Tuesday morning of the month, you get a free bagel when you come in. They don't give it to you when you leave either. They give it to you as soon as you get there. So you eat a bagel and
before I get on that treadmill.
Yeah.
Dude, that's genius.
Yeah, it's like they're getting people to just constantly forget that they have a gym membership there and stop going.
Yeah, or they're just making people fatter too, so they'll come back and work out.
Yeah, well, you'll see just the fattest thing of all time in people trying to eat a bagel or a piece of pizza while walking on the treadmill.
That's pretty cool.
I'm working it off.
Yeah.
I'm trying, man, but they just give me this piece of pizza as I walk in.
Yeah, who could say no to that? Your gym offering you pizza.
No, dude, I'm too self-conscious. That's the fattest thing that someone could do in my mind as an ex-fat kid. So if I'm eating food at a gym while around women, I'll vomit right then and there.
Yeah, I don't know if I would eat like while I was working out,
I think the sanitary part of that would be the turn off for me. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, especially at a public fitness.
Yeah.
Or
setting it in that little cup holder.
Well, I just
pizza.
I saw a statistic that like the gym is like the dirtiest place you can be. Like it
I believe that.
has the most germs on the weights and shit.
Yeah. There was a whole debacle at my gym that I just moved to, and it's a super nice, super clean gym, and there was a lady cleaning in the locker room at the moment, and it was a lady janitor cleaning in the dude's locker room because that's, I'm guessing, all they had at the moment. And at some point, there was a very old white gentleman who said some very off-colored shit at this Hispanic lady, and then I'm not proud of this, but me and myself included, I should not have adhered to joining this, but me and like 8 other Peckerwood-looking dudes just joined in and like bullying this old man. He's like, "Are you gonna fight me?" I was like, "No, we're just gonna keep talking shit to you until you step into that locker." That's one of the things the guy said over my shoulder. He's like, "Until you step into that locker, we're gonna sit here and talk shit to you." And then we turn around and just the biggest fucking dude you've ever like. I mean, he looked like. Do you know who Chase Young is? Mm-hmm. He looked like Chase Young, but maybe a little shorter. But all of the muscle mass that he has just slam packed into a dude. We turn around and we all go, "Oh, that's the boss. So we're gonna get the fuck out of here." Yeah. And he just immediately. I was glad to see that he just immediately kicked him out of the gym and revoked everything. But I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
Everything all happening at 8:30 in the morning. It was like, how can you?
Oh,
be...
that's.
It's so
That's
early.
an added layer.
Yeah, the manager of the gym had just gotten there for the day. That had to be the first thing he dealt with. Like, is we need toilet paper in stall number 2, and there's a racist old honky talking shit. So can you take care of that?
Yeah.
We have a hate crime in the men's room.
Yeah, dude, that was... that felt like a fever dream. Like, I felt like I walked into a movie. I was like, there's about to be a murder happening to this old man. And I was trying to figure out what happened. And then apparently someone had yelled out that he had said to her, "Where's your green card?" And I went from being like, maybe I should help this old man, to like, no, let's fucking kill that old man, dude. Yeah. All 8 of us, a blood brother bond. Let's kill this old man.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to call his wife.
Like Chase Young, come in here. Get some licks. That would have been funny. You're like, he's like, "Actually, I'm the boss. I'm the manager here." And you're like, "So you don't want to thrill kill this guy with us? Or?
You don't want to join in this?" And you're like, "No, I'd have to terminate all of you too." You're like, "No, dude, he's a racist. Step in on this. Why not?"
It's a code gray. That's their code in the gym for when there's a racist old man in the locker room.
Code banana. What's a banana? Racist old man. Yeah. Racist naked old man.
Oh, very nude. Probably resting his genitals on the sink while he shaves.
Not on the sink, but he was sitting on the seats that are right next to all the lockers naked. And that's what was making me mad. It's like I had said at one point, I'm like, she's here because you sit on that shit naked. Like, if I touch that, like, I'll have to go home and take the hottest shower possible to burn myself alive.
Mm-hmm. That is how you would have to do it. I've been in plenty of YMCA locker rooms. I know how it is.
Oh God.
I would take a hot bath of Lysol. I got on. There, you see some gross shit in there. You really do.
Dude,
old men have a brazenness about them.
They really do. Like,
it's like they're confronting you.
Past 50, they just have all of the gall in the world to do anything. Like, I'm not surprised if I'd ever see one walk out of the locker room still naked.
Yeah.
Just like into the public. Like, they've got walking from the shower without drying off into they'll
dry their dick and balls in the hand dryer.
One of those ones that shoots in when you drop your hands in. He's just fucking setting it in there.
Hey, that's actually a good idea.
Shut up, Blake. Don't fucking give people ideas.
It's not the worst idea I've ever heard. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's...
As someone who's taken a whore's bath, I understand that's better than what I did, but... You ever taken a whore's bath, Scott?
Sure. Who hasn't?
Yeah.
We all,
When you're women of the night.
When you're on the go.
When in Rome.
When you're whoring on the go. There's nothing better than a whore's bath.
Yeah, at a YMCA.
Down at the YMCA. I remember leaving in college, a road trip. We were getting back on the road, and my coach was just like, "Fuck it. If you guys want to just jump in the pool instead of showering, some of you, then you can do that."
How many people took that offer up?
A lot.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's shocking.
We had a dude in high school that was on our football team, and he refused to take showers with any of us, which I understand. There's 80 football players naked taking a shower. I get it.
It's a little intense.
But so was his smell, and the only thing that he would do to combat that intense smell was he would douse himself every day with half of a can of cinnamon Febreze.
Oh, my God.
And he would wear basketball shorts that he found in just the general disarray of the locker room. Never his shorts. That was his underwear. So he was wearing, someone else's shorts around his nuts.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
I read Beethoven speaking. No, this is surprisingly relevant. Listen to this. Beethoven, same deal. Beethoven, except for he just didn't like to shower.
Right.
They had to clean him like while he was his friends would take his clothes and wash them while he was asleep. That's what it was. He wouldn't
He was that
he
guy.
wouldn't wash his clothes, and they would smell so bad that his friends would wait for him to be asleep and then wash all his clothes real fast.
Christ.
Oh my God.
That's
actually
crazy.
kind of the greatest friends you could ever have.
Yeah, those
Like,
are
man,
that is a good
solid,
friend.
solid friends.
We
'Cause
love
that's
you, man.
That's the most thankless task.
We want to bring you around. You're a great guy. We love talking to you, and you trying to talk to us, because I'm assuming he was probably deaf at this point.
Sure.
Yeah. And then washing his clothes for him.
They're like, but it's still worth it. It's still worth it not having to smell.
You heard him play the
Beethoven.
piano, man? He's fucking...
He's so good. It almost makes up for the
You almost
stench.
stop smelling him.
Yeah.
What's that line in the Billy Joel song? The microphone smelling like shit.
That's in a Billy Joel song?
Yeah, the Piano Man.
Yes.
Really?
I don't remember.
Yeah, see if you can look it up.
can-
Like, it's not him saying it smells like shit, but I can't remember what actual word he used. I'm trying to sing it in my head, but now
Song, you're the piano man.
it's toward the... I think it's towards the chorus. Oh, no, that's what it was. And he said the microphone smells like a beer. Not the same thing. I just swung and
Yeah,
missed
that
at
is
nothing.
very different.
Yeah, that's on me.
Smelling like Beethoven.
I'm just grasping at straws here.
Beethoven probably smelled like beer a lot, you know?
Yeah, probably.
Something was fermenting.
Stands to reason.
To the extent to where your friends are washing your clothes for you,
Yeah.
something had to give. It smelled like yeast at a certain point. And that was back when they had to just wear everything buttoned up to the nines.
Yeah, and they were using like giant cauldrons of boiling water on like an open fire. You know, they didn't have.
And then they would dump it
didn't-
out and make soup.
There wasn't a washateria. They had those sticks, those long sticks.
They
that
were just
were-
using oars.
oars and cauldrons. That was clothes washing tools back then.
You make it out to be like he's a witch casting a spell, and that's just how you clean Beethoven.
A little bit.
Oh, little B.
A little.
How did you and Jimmy come up with the idea for Oddball History?
We really just started. We wanted to make a podcast, and it kind of just went that direction.
What was the? Did y'all just know that y'all both were into like weird history facts, and just that's how y'all started, or do y'all just want to start a podcast and then pick a theme?
Yeah, we kind of picked it after we knew we wanted to do a podcast, and then we kind of it really just went that way. I can't remember what we talked about, but one of the first ones was like a story I read about John Brinkley, this guy who did surgeries where he would put goat testicles in men's scrotums to make them more virile.
Okay.
It was like a new. It was like a.
Was this
a
like in
eugenics.
place when someone lost a ball, or like they would put
No.
another ball
They
in
would
there?
put another ball in there. They
leveling
would just
up.
throw it in there. Leveling up, exactly.
Any ball works. They're
And
all
they would-
adaptable.
This was a surprisingly this guy was doing this, but it was a whole craze worldwide. In Europe, they did it with like gorilla testicles, I think. Everybody was implanting testicles.
It was the new snake venom.
And so this guy John Brinkley, he became a state senator and insanely wealthy, all from his goat gland procedure, where he would sew goat balls in people. And so that was one of the first ones. We were like, that sounds like it would be fun to talk about for an hour.
Did anyone ever do medical studies? Like, John, there's no evidence ever. You're just shoving balls into other people's balls.
Yeah, eventually, like the owner of the Los Angeles Times had the procedure done to
Shit.
Harry Chandler. But then eventually they catch on, and because like he does it to Harry Chandler and Harry Chandler writes about it, then he becomes famous. But then the California Board of Health is on him and is like, yeah, we don't think this is working. We think you might be maiming these people. So they make him do the procedure like in front of a board, and they're like, this is the craziest thing we've ever seen.
You're just putting something into something else. That's all you're doing.
They were like, he doesn't even seem to have like a set way that like he seems to just kind of toss them in there and sew it back up.
Doesn't attach anything that's just floating around in there.
It's just kind of tossed in there on the heap, on the ball heap, and then sewn back up.
He just saw Close Encounters once and saw the three-titted woman.
He was so inspired.
Jeez.
Yeah,
we got to do this for guys.
Mm-hmm. John R. Brinkley.
What? That's also the worst idea too, because I don't know if you've ever sat on your balls, but I feel like if I've done it before with just two, and if I ended up having a third, that would be a reoccurring problem.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like...
And the reason it worked though was that it was in Kansas, and so he was selling this to like mostly farmers, and farmers all knew goats' reputations. They fuck all the time, nonstop, and they're like, that actually makes a lot of sense. The goat.
So when farmers are talking about the devil showed up in a suit, this guy is the guy just selling balls to people.
And then he had he had like this really nice clinic that he was doing this all in. Like it was like very state of the art and like just class at every level. And then he was sewing goat balls up in people in the back. And then he made a radio station to promote his goat ball surgery and to increase his fame. He had like an Ask the Doctor segment.
Oh God!
But this
this
radio station was like it was like huge. He got this huge antenna where it went like over Texas and the entire southeast eventually. He put it in Mexico eventually, like just across the border, so they couldn't regulate him. So his radio station covered Texas and the entire, southeast. And they would have country music stars on there. And it became like a huge country music radio station to where like, I think Willie Nelson has said and Waylon Jennings has said like when they were kids, they remember listening to this radio station. And I don't think they even mentioned like
the ball guy
that spawned it all. Crazy.
I'm just imagining, I don't know why, I'm thinking of, what was that? Like,
oh, we're at hour 10.
We're at an hour 10. I'm just imagining the scene from Oh Brother Where Art Thou when he's listening to the dude that sold his soul to the devil. The Soggy Bottom Boys.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Fucking, what was his name? Patches O'Houlihan?
No,
that was Dodgeball. Damn it. Damn it. What was his name?
Way fucking
That's
off.
a great name, though.
Ah, fuck. It was like, see if you can look it up while we're talking about it, Blake. I'm sorry.
Pappy O'Daniel?
Pappy O'Daniel, that's what it was. Never mind. Yeah. I'm just imagining the radio station coming to talk to Pappy O'Daniel listening to these dudes. And he's just fucking slinging nuts at people.
Yeah. And he's like, he got insanely wealthy doing this. And yeah, it became like a state senator and all this, all off.
I feel like your body would reject the goat ball.
Yeah, I think
well, you don't know medical science,
in
Blake.
The book. There's a really good book about him. I forget who it's by, but it's called Charlatan, and and they kind of go into that. He was like maiming people. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. There's one guy in that book. The whole book, it's very interesting because it's like there's like a detective kind of for like the American Medical Association or something. And he's kind of tracking this guy through the whole book, but
he's
then there's
his own auditor at this point.
Yes, like he's a spy. He's like going around like this guy's getting into bad shit.
Jesus.
But so Fish being the detective guy, he eventually gets him, but not before. I mean, he was hugely successful by any measure.
I'm sure he had shit tons of fuck you money too.
Yeah. Blake, see if we can track how many people Brinkley maimed. How many people did he give balls to?
How? many goat balls?
I can't be the first person to ask this question. Okay.
Wow.
50 new patients a week? Holy, I read that so wrong. I'm like, okay, 50 people that got goat balls, that's a lot, but not that many. He was treating 50 new patients a week at a certain point is what that said.
Yeah, that, I mean, I can't imagine it felt good.
Yeah, who thinks that's a good idea?
Farmers. Dumb farmers from the middle of nowhere, Kansas.
Oh, and there's another guy in the book who he's like only connected kind of peripherally. He's like a friend, I think, of the detective guy, Lawrence Fishbein, and but he shows up, and every time you see him, he has implanted more testicles in his. I think he was putting them like under his skin, like in his like where abs should be. Like he was getting. Like, and he would open up his shirt and be like, check it out, got some more balls.
Got like 18 now.
I got so many balls now.
He's just Thanos collecting the stones.
Collecting goat balls.
Collecting the balls of all the animals. What a terrible time to live, like science-wise, to live when everyone's like, we know testicles do something.
They do something, and this man is very confident
enough to know what that is. So we're just gonna toss them in you.
Why not? I also did see whatever page you were on first. It said his only medical experience was being a medic in the Confederate Army. Prior to that, no medical experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like I think he got his medical license from like it was like a mail order medical license kind of thing.
I have a friend who's ordained to minister and be a reverend through that too. And usually that just comes out of boredom is what's crazy about that. His boredom thing became his $1 million practice.
Yep. It's all about dreaming big.
Oh my God, $750 per operation in the early 1900s. Oh my God.
Yeah, this guy was raking it in.
From farmers.
And yeah. Yeah, that was the sad part of the story as they go into like people were like ruined to do this operation. Like people truly believed he like
financially
fucked people's lives up really bad.
The post-nut clarity on that would have been immense.
Yeah. With 3 nuts. You're like, wait, I still feel like I have two nut clarity.
I'm just more sad now.
There should be a 3rd nut adding to my clarity, and yet I don't feel it.
Has my nutsack become hard like a diamond? Yes, I don't think anything's wrong, but I don't feel a 3rd level of clarity. Something's wrong, Doc.
Yeah.
Oh, he died penniless.
Yeah.
He spent all that money?
No, he got sued.
Oh. Oh, in 1942, sued for all of his money.
Fishbein.
Wait, go back down. Did that say he got sued for mail fraud?
Fishbein? I've never known. It's one of those names I've only read. It might be Fishbein.
I couldn't even tell you. Where did that go?
Dying penniless of heart failure. Now that doesn't sound like a lot of fun, if you're asking me.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Died penniless of heart failure in San Antonio. The mail fraud case had not yet come to trial. That's what it was. I thought they were saying he died penniless from mail fraud and not from throwing nuts into people for years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if people are signing off on the procedure, I mean, beforehand.
Yeah, also it was like it was kind of the Wild West back then too.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of laws on the books, I feel. That was one of one of this detective's like big things is like you were kind of allowed to do a lot.
Whatever, as long as you got away.
Yes.
But I did also see this.
If you had a fast horse, you were literally above the law.
Yeah, that's all. I would love to be an outlaw because apparently you could if you can get away, you can be as lazy as you want and do whatever you want. It's that old John Mulaney bit is like, tell him the Suggins gang sends in, shoots Suggins into the wall. I've got a hunch.
Love that bit.
Oh man,
it's crazy as hell. He's not a good man. I would argue.
No, this is just one whole man that had a whole like. This almost sounds vaguely of like when they were giving out pox blankets. This has that whole vibe, and it's just one dude just fucking people's lives forever.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he wasn't. I guess he moved around enough that he wasn't killed by an angry mob of farmers with, with pitchforks.
There wasn't someone that just
Lord
sent
knows
out
they have
one
pitchforks.
piece of
Yeah.
We've got our torches and pitchforks, my lord. Richard
Wait,
Linklater made something that has
movie?
Robert Downey Jr. playing this guy.
What? Did that never come out?
No, I don't think it did.
Damn. Too bad. That would be funny.
That'd be a great episode.
Based off
Or
a
a movie.
podcast episode.
I think the guy Zach Woods, who played Gabe on The Office, he could play John Brinkley. He kind of looks like him.
See if you can scroll back up and find a picture. Oh my God, yeah, he could.
Or maybe.
Oh, he looks like someone I know personally. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that haircut's really like back in style now. People
And what sucks
Weird.
is like that's the only hairstyle I could get if I go short. I stick to the hats now because I'm full male pattern baldness, and it's done. It's taking a turn.
all the kids go in and say, "Give me the John R. Brinkley."
Give me the fuck cut.
Yeah, give
And
me
it's-
the Nazi soldier cut, please.
It's all the same cut. It's that same. Look at that.
From John R. Brinkley to fucking Staubach, they all had the same haircut.
Now there's a haircut you could set your watch to. Abe Simpson's.
Oh, I can see Blake staring at me. But please, first, thank you so much for coming on, Scott. This was
Yeah,
a great
absolutely,
episode.
man.
It was so fun, and just
Yeah, I had a blast.
hearing what you fucking find and just research. I'm gonna have to go back and watch more Oddball History podcasts.
Hell
Y'all
yeah,
should
dude.
too. Please go subscribe to the Oddball History podcast with him and Jimmy Nelson. And then if you'll go ahead and plug your social media up one more time, and if you got any shows coming out,
Yeah.
well, this one's coming out a little later because we have to bank. But
Oh yeah,
if
no
you just want
worries.
to tell what shows you got coming out anyway, so people can come and find you in the future.
Let me check on that real fast. I got oh, I don't know. I don't have my shows lined up on here. I do know on New Year's I'm at the Fillmore Pub in Plano.
Oh,
for,
very cool.
On Vinny's Cowabunga
Oh, hell
show.
yeah.
So that's New Year's Eve. That's the only one I have right here.
Awesome. So
but yeah, I'm at Scott Chris with 3 P's on
Hell yeah.
Instagram.
also go check him out at New Year's Eve at the Cowabunga show. Vinny's been on. He talked about that, and he was telling us about how he had to turn away people from the last Cowabunga show he had done before we
yeah.
shot because they
Yeah,
were
they
just
do
getting
such a
people
good-
out on a Wednesday night too, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, they do a great job with that show.
I know.
It's
I gotta
incredible.
go check that out. I've just seen pictures, but that place looks so great. But y'all can follow me at pbailey_comedy and Dingbat District Pod on Instagram and TikTok, and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you aren't already. We've got episodes coming out every Tuesday and clips coming out every day. And then stick around because eventually we've got some new things coming as soon as Blake has moved in and we've got the renovations happening. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.